Gerald Willis would, to me, be the big story from a Miami perspective on NFL Draft Weekend in regards to just his outstanding play and dominant play at a high level against a major competition, not necessarily being enough to overcome some other difficulties he's had, other challenges, adversity that people obviously that run NFL organizations deemed very high, and that kept him off the NFL draft board, but certainly he will get his opportunity.
I actually went in depth for about 10 minutes on my channel with the video entitled Gerald Willis III Undrafted, ? Future Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Now,
okay.
The issue with Gerald... Oh, sorry. What you saying, Mark?
No, jump in there. Keep going.
Okay.
My bad.
No, you're fine. The issue with Gerald Willis is off the field. It has absolutely nothing to do with on-the-field production, on-the-field mistakes, anything with on the field, because if anyone turns on the field, let's say theoretically, someone said, okay, I've seen him getting driven off the ball if he isn't making plays in the backfield. Well, I know for a fact that all you would have to do is turn on the LSU film against an SEC opponent. I think they won anywhere from 11 to 12 wins, somewhere in there. And Gerald Willis dominated at least the first half of that football game. And even just that one game would warrant, at minimal, a 6th or 7th round draft pick. Just that one game. But this young man had production all the way through the season. No matter who we played, what time we played, whether it was at home, whether it was away, it didn't matter. Gerald Willis had high production at the University of Miami as a gap attacking 3 technique. Now the issues are off the field as far as at the University of Florida. There were coaches who talked down on him about him when he was there. When he transferred out to the University of Miami, there were some coaches from that regime also who spoke down and spoke ill on Gerald Willis's attitude. And when it comes to the NFL, there's millions of dollars being invested into players. And when you do things of that nature, sometimes when you're young, when you're 17, 18 years old, we all make decisions and we all say things and do things that we normally would not do once we got older and once we realized exactly what it is that we said or what it is that we did. We wouldn't do that, especially if we could think twice about it. And those things can come back to bite us in our behinds later on in life. And that is what happened with Gerald Willis. And he isn't shying away from it. And that's something that I truly appreciated, reading his tweets. And even though people were talking down on him, he kept his head up consistently. And now he is signed an undrafted free agent contract with my favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens. So one of my favorite players is now playing for, and I think he will make the all 53-man roster and eventually be a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro later on down the line, because he's already into his grown man strength, into his hard work ethic skills, as a 24-year-old prospect. So I'm also excited. That might be one of the first jerseys I purchased with my own money as a Gerald Willis Baltimore Ravens jersey. But there are other Miami Hurricanes who were drafted. So let's talk about those guys. Sheldrick Redwine, hard-nosed, strong safety from Miami, Florida, played at Miami Killian Senior High School, came to the University of Miami, went 4th round, 119th overall to the Cleveland Browns, who might be known as the Cleveland Hurricanes / Cleveland Tigers, with all of the Miami Hurricanes and LSU Tigers that played for the Cleveland Browns organization. Those are 2 programs you would love to draft from and bring a lot of players to your organization. Cornerback Mike Jackson, both he and defensive end edge rusher Joe Jackson, both 5th round picks, went to the Cowboys. Mike Jackson 158th overall and Joe Jackson 165th overall. That fit for both of them is great, especially with Joe Jackson being a part of that nasty, young, aggressive front 7 for the Cowboys, especially with them investing in him Because of Randall Gregory not being able to stay on the field, David Irving quitting the NFL, and them paying DeMarcus Lawrence a whole bunch of money, they can save a lot of money with similar production with a guy like Joe Jackson as a late round draft pick, and being able to get him in there on nickel downs, dime downs, and third and longs. Michael Jackson is a press man corner, and the best thing for a press man corner is good pass rush. As you can see, Mike Jackson had a lot of production at the University of Miami with his interception rate being over 6 interceptions in a 2-year span as until he even started. So when the ball is in the air, he knows how to high point it and attack the football in the air. And I'm far from a Cowboys fan, but with them drafting two of my guys, I might have to be a Cowboy rooter as opposed to a Cowboys fan. One of my favorite players who graduated high school with me, who I was able to watch from also at Miami Killian all the way through his career at the University of Miami, was Jaquan Johnson, a leader, a spiritual leader, an aggressive player, lead by example, but is also vocal, a leader's leader. Free safety, strong safety, nickel, he has reps anywhere across the DB corps. And that's why I believe he will be a steal in the 6th round to the Buffalo Bills, because that young man plays with his heart. And he loves this game of football. And he's very knowledgeable of the game. And he's able to take a leadership role and run with it. And that's something that NFL organizations love to see. Someone who doesn't mind playing special teams, doesn't mind being in an early rotation until they prove themselves. And once they prove themselves and get a job, will not give that job up. And that's what you get in safety Jaquan Johnson. Travis Homer went 6th round, 204th overall to the Seahawks. What a great combination. Yet again, a special teams ace, a leader. Just to see the guys we were bringing in makes me happy to see these people going on to the NFL. And one thing that all the analysts say about them is something had to be great in that Miami Hurricanes locker room, because we are drafting their leaders. And we are drafting real program guys who give their all for the University of Miami. And now we can't wait for them to do the same thing in the NFL and give their all for their organizations, which I think Travis Homer will do the same.